Alright guys, here we go with another live trading recap video. So you can see right here, watching a few stocks, Archon, NCTY, SPI. The bottom left there, I always just leave that open for the high of day scanners, the momentum scanners. So right out of the gates, I'm thinking about watching NCTY over 150, which would be essentially high of day. And I look away for a second, and I miss it. I completely missed the entry. This stock didn't really do much. This was actually the high of day, I believe. I think after this push right here, it just goes down, and nothing else really happens the rest of the day. So, still would have been a very nice, 10, 15 cents, depending on when I would have sold it. So, kind of frustrating that I missed that. And I just had to sit back and watch it move. But this does end up making a 1 minute pullback that I thought was going to break out, but it didn't. So obviously the stock wasn't interesting enough to traders to hop in. But I'm looking at Archon now, thinking about getting in over $3. End up taking an early entry here at $2.91, and so I'm in. Breaks over. I tried to sell at 15 right there, couldn't sell, so I'm selling at, unfortunately, 301. I'm going to pause it here and just say that is quite embarrassing. Very frustrating to see that the stock moved the way that it did, and I wasn't able to capture the full profit, the full potential on the stock. And honestly, it's difficult for me to share this, because I know there are traders out there who may watch this and think, what are you doing, right? But part of the reason why I'm doing this is just so I can be 100% transparent, right? And so even the bad trades, I just want to be transparent and post everything, because it's not only is it going to help me now because it forces me to focus on the trades, but it's also going to help traders. I'm going to resume this. It's also going to help traders in the future who watch these videos. And who are going through the same thing, right? So just know that eventually you will get better, and I know that for a fact. Eventually I'm going to get better. It's just a matter of studying these trades and not making the same mistakes again, okay? So this ends up pulling back, and I don't have Archon up at the moment, so let's see. I'm trying to turn this down just a little bit. I know it's sort of loud, the volume here. I'm just going to turn it down just a little bit. So let's see what we got here. So I'm just going to leave this playing. Now at this point I'm watching Archon over 324. Like I said, the chart's not up, but I believe over 324 would be high of day. And so an entry for the break of high of day. And hopefully I'll get in a little bit early just to anticipate the breakout. Okay, so here we go. And it got close. It got very close to that point. So let's see if it gets back up there again. And so you can see right there, NCTY just breaking down, selling off. It's pretty much done for the day. You can see nothing's really going to happen with that anymore. So looking at Archon, you can see all the buying. Look at that, all the buying going through. This would be a great spot to buy. And there we go, I'm in. And you can see I'm just kind of spazzing out here. And this is a part of me learning how to maintain my composure, right? And so I'm trying to sell very quickly on the ass. You can see right there, trying to sell up at 36, 32, end up just bailing out on the bid at 25, right? And it's just frustrating. It's frustrating to look back at these trades and think to myself, man, if I would have just held this a second longer, right, I would have been up X amount as opposed to what I'm up right now. And so it's frustrating to watch, but it forces me to have a moment of honesty with myself and say, okay, what is it that I need to improve on, right? And clearly maintaining my composure is an area that would need improving. And so At this point, 340 would be high of day again. I don't think I get back into it at this point, but I'm just going to leave this playing for a second just to see some of the price action. And so you can see right here, we're getting that pullback. I can't remember if this, I don't think this actually breaks out. I think it sells off just a little bit, and so we get some consolidation here. But I mean, just looking at this chart right here, Archon, the 1 minute chart at the top, you can see, I mean, there's some great setups in here. You know, you've got the first pullback right there on the 1 minute chart, and then you've got that second pullback slash 1 minute pullback, right? That micro 1 minute pullback. Great opportunity to get in, because a lot of traders, there's short trader restricting Archon. So officially at this point, I really can't trade it, because I can't take enough shares to justify taking the trade. I think I calculated it, and I could take about 250 or 300 trades with my equity, and to me it just wasn't worth it. And so I was pretty much done for the day. Archon had more potential, it had plenty of more opportunities, but I just couldn't trade it, unfortunately. So here comes ELTK. This was actually my next trade right here, so I'm just going to keep this playing. So you can see all of my trades within the first, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So there's a pullback right there. So I believe I'm going to be getting in for the break of this pullback. So I'm typing in right there. That would be 5:30. Okay. So let's see what this does here. We got about 30 seconds until this candle closes. I'm just checking to see if it's on the restricted stock list. It is, but 3-to-1 though. That means I can use 3-to-1 margin, which with my equity is about $3,600. So more than enough for me to take, the 400 shares that I'm taking right now. And I think at this point I'm thinking, you know what? I'm already up $100 in the day. Let me just scale back a little bit, right? And so that's what I'm doing here with taking 400 shares. Plus ELTK, has 147,000 shares of volume. Is it really going to do anything? That's kind of what's going on in my head right now. If this can get up to 530, break high of day, then for sure I'll get in. But if not, I'm not going to sweat it, So here we go. You can see some buying going through. Some sellers stacked up there at 513, 516. Check out some of the price action here. All right, so there's that. So we broke through that level up to 520. This would be a good spot to buy right here. So I'm in, and look at how fast I sold that. That's so frustrating. So I'm just gonna go back really quick just so you can see that, just how frustrating that is. And I don't know why. It's like it's habitual. I get nervous or something. I don't know. I need to work on that though. Like I said, just maintaining that composure. Oh, I missed it. But you can see here, this ends up going to a high of like 595, I believe. It pulls back, and it doesn't. It's done for the day, but still plenty of opportunity right here to make some good profit, right? So I'm gonna go back again, so you can see right here. Buying going through, lots of buying, breaking that level. Boom, I'm in right here. Now, I'm going to pause it. So, my entry, 400 shares at 530, right? Okay, so that's good. Now, I'm only a second into this trade, if that, right? I'm about 2 seconds into the trade. And what did I do? I sell. Okay, so it doesn't update. Nothing's updating on the. For some reason, SureTrader didn't update my profit loss, my realized income right there, and so you can't see it. But it's I made like 25 or like $20 on that trade, But immediately, as soon as I sell, what happens? Look at that, 555. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, that's so frustrating. 540 by, 550, 585, 598. Oh, gosh, 560 on the bid. Like even if I bailed out on the bid, I would have still made, if I bailed out at 60, I would have still made 25 cents, right? So just maintaining that composure, understanding that if I'm getting into this stock, I'm getting in it because I believe that it has the potential to move, right? At least 10 cents, right? That would give me my 1-to-1 profit loss ratio. So if I'm going to get into this stock, I'm getting in it with the understanding that it's going to move. And I'm not selling it until it makes that move, right? And just watching the overall price action. I mean, just going back here, I'm going to go back one more time. Going back here, you can see the price action. You can see the buying going through. So obviously this is being supported here. And so for me to sell it so quickly when there wasn't even any selling going through the time and sales, you'll see in a second here, was just, it was stupid. It was very, very dumb. So watch the time and sales right here, okay? So I'm in, and I sell, but there's barely any selling going through. You got a couple of sellers here, but for the most part, it's not like what's happening up here at Archon, right? Archon's like selling off and it's consolidating. This is not doing that. We're still getting plenty of green. So some selling right there, but at this point it's already up to 540 by 550. Right now 539 by 540. But that's way more than what I sold it for, still. $550, 585. Look at that. 560. So, I sold at 535, but I mean there were plenty of there was a lot more potential in this stock, and I just didn't take advantage of it. Even if I sold it at 540, that's still 10 cents. I still made 10 cents, and that still meets my criteria of at least a 1-to-1 profit loss ratio. And so definitely a lot to take away from today's trading. Overall, I was still able to be green, and I was able to get in and out of trades quickly using my hotkeys. And so I'm happy with that. I'm happy with my overall trading today. It's just that I know I can capitalize a lot better on these trades, right? And so whether that's getting in early and selling a little bit later to try to capture as much of the move as possible is something that I have to continue to improve on. Because I'm getting a lot better with the setups, recognizing the setups, right? I'm getting better at reading just the overall market sentiment and like how the market's moving, reading the level 2, the time and sales, the candle charts, the setups. And so all that stuff is I'm getting a lot better at. But what I'm struggling with is the psychological side, right? Like when you get into the trade and you just feel nervous, it's like that feeling when you have to make a speech in front of your class, like back in school, back when you were in high school. And so it's that feeling that you get in the pit of your stomach where it's just so uncomfortable. And the best way to get rid of that feeling is by what? Well, getting out of the trade, right? If you get out of the trade, then you're not in the trade anymore. That seems logical, right? And so you do that psychologically so you can get rid of that fearful, that pain. But we have to, as traders, especially beginner traders, I'm speaking to beginner traders more so here because I'm a beginner trader and I'm going through the process right now. I have to get better at being comfortable, or rather not being comfortable, but just understanding that those emotions are going to be there, and that's fine. That's totally fine because, like I said earlier, I'm getting into this stock for a reason, right? Because I believe that it has the potential to move. And so to just trust that I can hold it a little bit longer, at least until it meets that 1-to-1 profit loss ratio that I'm going for, which would just be 10 cents, okay? So that's really it for today, guys. I feel like I wanted to show you something else here. Let me just fast forward. So a few other stocks I'm just watching here. There was something I wanted to show you. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, I think it was this right here. I just wanted to show you this beautiful 1 minute pullback here. So Archon, this is 10:10, so 40 minutes after the bell. Momentum tends to slow down just a little bit, but there's still Archon still has a lot of power. You can see up there it has 14 million shares of volume, right? Quickly going up to 15 million shares. And we're getting this 1 minute pullback right here. Now, I know for a fact I would have traded this. I couldn't because it was restricted 1-to-1, and it's like I said, I can only take 300 shares or like 250 or something like that. And to me, it's just not worth it. Now, obviously, in hindsight, everything's 2020. So in hindsight, it would have been worth it because the stock made a huge move. But just watch this 1 minute pullback right here. So we got about 10 seconds left on this candle. So once this candle closes, watch the volume that pours in because thousands of traders are watching this same exact setup and they're going to take it. Watch. So the high would be 420, right? 420. Now watch that level right there, okay? You can see all the buying going through. Watch. Look at that big seller right there. Watch how he just disappears. Look at that. Look at that. Very solid move. I mean, so even if you were selling up there like at 435, you got in at what, 420? So that's still 15 cents, but look, it still has a lot of room up to 450. So, somewhat choppy, up and down, but for the most part, a very clean setup. So that just goes to show you that a lot of traders are watching the same setup. So if you can just familiarize yourself with these setups and just be confident in your ability to, be confident in the fact that you know the setup, right? And other traders are watching the same thing. Just take it. Just take the setup. If the stock meets your criteria, if it's hit all of your rules, if it's past your criteria, then just take the trade. You'll be surprised with what the stock does, and you're in it, and you're just watching your realized income go up and up and up. So, you can see right here, forward 470. So imagine if you would have bought at 420 right there, and you were still holding it, even with 500 shares. That would be a decent profit, But imagine if you were holding 10,000 shares, Huge profit right there. So lots of potential. So, like I say in my day trading recap videos, for me right now it's not about the money. And I know that's like sort of counterintuitive because it's like you're trading in the market. It should be about the money. But it's not though. It's not about the money right now. It will be. Eventually it's going to be about the money, and I'll be taking large size and I'll be making, much bigger gains per trade. But right now, I just want to be sure that I understand how to trade first off, right? It's like I had this friend who, or I have this friend who he's a pilot and he teaches, he's a teacher in pilot school. Now, do you think for 1 second that these new pilots on their first day of flying school are coming into flying school and getting behind a real airplane their first day and flying a real airplane their first day? No way. They're starting off in a simulated environment where if they make a mistake, it's not going to cost them their life, And so it's similar with trading in that when you first get into the market, you want to start off paper trading because you want to make sure that you make all of your bad mistakes with fake money, right? And the only thing that you're paying for really is just the simulator, however much that costs. But you're not losing thousands of dollars, right? Tens of thousands of dollars, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're not having to make those just absolutely detrimental mistakes because you're trading with fake money. And so you start off in a fake environment, and then slowly you begin to work your way up, right? So when my friend brings the pilots after, several months of flying in a fake flying environment, takes them into a real plane, right? But they're not flying massive commercial jets right away. They're flying very small, like 4-seater airplanes, very small ones. And then eventually they'll start flying bigger jets, right? And then maybe one day they'll be flying those massive jets that have like pools and stuff in them, the ones that are just massive with multiple levels and crazy things. So it's all a process, and you just have to trust the process and just go with it. Don't try to rush through it because you're going to lose if you do that. You have to go through each step, make sure that you understand, make sure that you're building your foundation solid. Make sure you have a solid foundation first before you start building on top of it, right? And so that's what I'm doing here. And I'm just going to continue to record it every single step of the way. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. I hope you were able to get something from this video here. So I'll be back tomorrow doing the same thing. I'll have another live trading video up, and I look forward to the opportunities that we'll get for tomorrow, so I can show you guys some more trades. All right, guys, so thanks so much for watching. Take care.